Okay. Now I have a number with me, which is, let us say, A is equal to 5.231. Now, what type of data is this? What is the data type here? Isn't it float?
Float data.
Yeah,
Data.
right. Now I want to convert this float value to a integer. I want to convert this float value to integer.
Integer.
What can I do? So we have a function called int. We have a function called int. X is equal to, I want to convert this a, which is nothing but this value, right, to integer. I'm explicitly telling convert whatever is the number that is passed here to integer type, right? Then this would actually convert 5.231 to 5, a integer. Okay. And in the same way, I have a number which is an integer. I want to convert this to a float value. I want to convert this to a float value. Then I have a function called float. So which would convert 5 to a floating value, since we are not specifying any decimal here. So it just gives a decimal as 5.0. If I have to convert a float value to an integer, I'll use a function called int. If I have to convert integer value to a float, I'll use a function called float, which will result in a float value. Are we clear with this? Right. So this process of converting one data type to another data type is called type casting, where we are changing the data type. I converted here a float to integer using a function called int, and here we converted a integer value to a float using the function called float. Okay, and the process of converting one data type to another data type is basically called typecasting. Typecasting. Okay, are we clear? Right. In the same way, let us say I had my value, which is going to be, this was, what kind of data type is this?
String data type.
String. There is 10, but it is enclosed within the quotes. Then it becomes string. So I know in my string I have a value 10, which is a digit. This is a digit, yes. I want to convert the string to integer. So even here I will use a function called int to convert from string to integer. So this will result in the value 10, which will be of type int.
Int value.
Okay. Now let us say I have a value called a string ABC. And now I am trying to convert into integer. What will happen? What will happen in this case?
Will
Can
throw an
ABC,
error, sir.
right? Why?
It is a character. ABC is a character, and the data
Right,
type given
ABC,
below is integer.
right. So ABC are alphabets, right? And we are trying to convert these alphabets into integer. So it is not possible, right, to convert alphabet into an integer. Because they are not digits at all, they are alphabets. So in this case where Python or cannot do anything about it, so in this case it will throw an error. What error do we get? We will get an error called value, error, value, error. Okay, we'll get a error. Your program would not run successfully. It will throw error and it will stop. So if you get a error while running a program, your program would basically stop. Your program would basically stop. It will not execute any further. It will just stop. Okay, can we try this? I guess. Okay, all right. So I had a is equal to 10.234. I want to convert it to integer. X is equal to int, a function that I use, and I'll pass the float value to it. And if I see what is there in X, it is going to say it is 10. And if I just say print type of X, right, it would say it is a class int. If I just check print type of A, it is going to say float. So basically we converted from float to integer, right? We converted from float to integer. In the same way, we have a value called, so our X is 10, right? Now I want to convert this 10 to float. Float of X is going to return a float value, right? It is 10.0. Now it is a float value, right? In the same way, if I am trying to convert a certain alphabets into integer, so then this will raise a value error. This will raise a value error. Are we clear with this? Now, so far, what all we have learned? What all we have learned? So that is all with respect to numbers. So in summary, what all did we learn as part of the numbers? So we know we have learned what are the operators, what are the data types. So what are the different operators that we have? Can someone tell me?
Arithmetic operators.
So arithmetic operators. So what do we have in arithmetic operators? So you
Plus,
have
minus,
plus, minus,
multi,
division, multiplication,
modulo division,
modulo. Then you have double slash
four,
and
four division.
double star. Right. So this what are the special operators? Double slash and double star. One is a floor division, another one is exponent, another one is exponent. Okay. And what are the different functions that we have learned so far? Did we learn what is called print? Right? Did we see the function called type? Did we see a function called int? Did we see a function called float? Did we see a function called round? Now, what is the importance of print function? To print value? Yes.
Yes.
What is the type? Returns the
Data type.
type of the value. Right. Let me just be very explicit. Data type of the value. Now, what is the function? What does the function int do?
The given data.
Digits to int
Int.
type.
Values.
Right. Same with float.
Float type.
Now, what does round do?
Convert to 100 to 100.
Round the number. Someone please mute yourself. There is a lot of disturbance. Thank you. So the round function rounds the number to any specified decimals. What is the first error that we have seen? What is the error that we saw just now?
Value error.
Welcome.
Value error. When did we see this? When we try to convert a non-digits to integer type. This raised value error.
Errors.
Okay, are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with this, our first chapter or the first set of okay, let me call it a chapter only, right? So the first chapter of on numbers is completed. On numbers is completed. The first chapter or the first topic that I wanted to discuss. This is going to be very easy, and this is something that we know and we are done with it.